Hello, may I have your attention? If you want to comment or you want to ask a question, please get the microphone and stand up so it can be recorded. Thank you very much.
Just a second, I need a bit of time to set up my login details on a new device, so please bear with me for a second. I will just start, and when I have to do the demo, I'll try the password thing again. But thank you everyone for being here. My name is Vipin. I work as a partnerships manager with the Wikimedia Foundation. And today I'm hoping to give you an overview of the Wikipedia library. We will speak about how this product works, how this can help Wikimedians in their contributions, and how partnerships are working for this project, how it's an essential component for this project to run, and how we go about building new partnerships and maintaining existing partnerships. So that is what we will speak about today. This is the structure of today's session. We'll first give an overview of the product, and that is where I'm hoping to give you a live demo of how it works. And I'm, for some reason, not able to log into my account and show that, but we'll figure that out. And then we'll talk about partnerships, the current partners that we have, how we go about building new partnerships, and also some opportunities for you to collaborate with us on this project, and then questions and answers about it. Sources are important. Now, this is something everyone in this room are familiar with, Wikipedia is not a place for original research. Wikipedia articles must not contain original research. It is a place where we collect and summarize information that's already been published elsewhere. Wikipedia is fundamentally built on research that has been collected and organized from reliable sources. So for this reason, it is very important that Wikimedia contributors have access to sources, reliable, verifiable sources that they can use for their research and citations and references on the various Wikipedia articles and other things that they do on Wikimedia projects. So it's fundamentally important to our movement and our project that sources are important. But as you do volunteering, contributing, editing Wikipedia, you must have encountered websites, books, journals, news reports that are behind a paywall. And paywalls are becoming increasingly frequent on the internet now, especially in the age of AI. If you want to try to access books or newspapers from other parts of the world, you might hit paywalls. Sometimes without a subscription, you cannot access the journals and books that you would need to learn more about certain topics. And sometimes you don't even know if that is the book or journal that you want to use in your Wikipedia article, but just to read that, just to get a sense of that, you will have to pay. And that is a problem from multiple perspectives. First of all Wikimedians are volunteering, and if they have to spend money from their pocket to get access to this, that is a problem that we want to try and solve. Secondly, the paywalls can be a lot more difficult for people in the global south. Some of the books or some of the news publications published in the West will be a lot more expensive if you're buying it from the global south. And that's exactly where the Wikipedia library comes in. We have built a library with more than 100 top subscription-only databases with content in more than 30 languages, free for Wikimedia volunteers. You can see a fair amount of top academic publishers, newspapers, journals, research papers, and all these research material in the library, free of cost for Wikimedians. The collections in the library today, that includes, the collections in the library today includes international publishers of academic books. We have quite a few university presses who are working with us. We have the Oxford University Press, Cambridge University Press, Chicago. We have at least a dozen university presses who are giving free access to Wikimedians. We have large academic publishers like the Elsevier, Brill, Wiley, Springer Nature. Almost all of the top leading academic publishers in the world are the Wikipedia library partners, and you can get access to their content for free with the Wikipedia library. We also have scientific databases and aggregators such as JSTOR, EBSCO, Alexander Street Press, Gale, and that even includes video databases. So you get access to a lot of aggregated data through these partners in the Wikipedia library. And in the last couple of years, we have added a lot of newspapers, magazines, and archives in the library. So many of the top newspapers in the world are now available in the Wikipedia library. Today we have the Wall Street Journal, the Hindu, newspapers.com is a big archive of newspapers dating back to so many centuries. We have ProQuest, which is another aggregator of newspaper archives. So all these collections are currently available in the Wikipedia library. People who have access to the library will have free access to these resources. Now, Wikipedia library is free, but it's not available for all Wikimedians. There is an eligibility criteria that you have to meet to get access to the library. And the criteria is listed there. You have to have at least 500 edits across all Wikimedia projects to get access to the Wikipedia library. And your account should be at least 6 months old. You should have started volunteering to Wikimedia projects at least 6 months before. And you should have made 10 edits at least in the last 30 days. And that's a way that we make sure that this is an active contributor. This is someone who is still contributing to Wikimedia projects. And you should not have any blocks on your username. If you meet all this criteria, you will have access to the Wikipedia library. And as you keep editing, you will get a notification like this So you will have a message on your Wikipedia account that says, congratulations, now you are available for the Wikipedia library. So if you have not met this criteria, if you are still editing, please watch out for this notification. When you meet the criteria, you will be receiving this. And when you click on that, you will be taken to the Wikipedia library, and this is where I hope to do a demo. Let me just try logging in again. Please bear with me for a second. Do you have an account that's eligible for the Wikipedia library?
Not. Can you just maybe here there's probably space or something?
No.
That's it, the exact one.
Yeah, it's the exact one.
Can you check your keyboard? Maybe some wrong. Yes, that as well. Language is English.
Yeah. Is there anyone with a Wikipedia library account who can log in here, maybe?
Maybe I, because I have the next presentation.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you so much.
I'm already logged in fact, here, but I can also do probably with another.
Yeah, if you meet the criteria, if that's the first time, that'll be like a good way to.
One of my two accounts, let's try, at least, let's try the one, but the keyboard will be a problem here,
Okay.
because I use the Italian one. Wait a minute.
We can disconnect this if you want.
No. I will do with copy-paste up to a certain extent. Accented E was the problem.
I can have all of it too.
What?
I can log in.
You can log in? Okay, we'll try this, and if that's not working. Really sorry about this. It's a problem with the connector. I can't connect my device, and
And then there is.
do you have like a C-type one? For
Wait, because this is. No, keyboards are often an issue. I'm sorry if someone else wants to try.
Come in Wikimedia system, you'll be able to log in.
I also do some for
Whoops. Oh, okay. You're already logged in. So there you have it.
Okay, so if that account has access to the library, that will also do.
I just made 10 edits, so it should have access.
Okay.
Where's the library?
So it's you just go to the Wiki. Yeah. And you go and you log in.
I also just authorized the connection to the account.
Thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome.
Brilliant contest. Thank you so much. Okay, we are back. Thanks. So yes, this is where you will reach if you have all the parameters, if you meet all the criteria for the Wikipedia library. You go use those credentials and log in, and that will take you to the Wikipedia library. This is the homepage of the library. You can see that broadly there are two collections in the library. You can see my collections and then available collections. These are broadly two ways in which we provide access in the Wikipedia library. The first mode of access is a proxy-based access. Everyone who meets the criteria will be able to access all the content collections that are listed under my collections. There are 82 collections, so you can just scroll down and see many of these top publishers that we spoke about. We have Africa Intelligence, we have American National Biography, the British Medical Journals. So all these publishers that you see here, how it works is you can just click on Access Collection, and it will open a new tab for you, which is a proxied URL. And from that URL, you will be able to browse through their content without any paywall. So here you can see, as I reached their website, it says the access is provided by the Wikipedia library, so I click on that. Yeah, and then you can just go here, browse through the content from this publisher and use it without a paywall. So that is how the collections under, we call it library bundle. Everything that you see under my collections are immediately accessible to you. It's an instant access. You just need to go, click on Access Collection. It'll take you to the partner's website, and then you browse without a paywall. On the other hand, we have a few collections under Available Collections, which is a multi-step process. So you do not have immediate access to the collections listed here. We have only limited seats for these publications. For example, if you go here and scroll down, you will see, say, the Wall Street Journal. So when you click there, if you scroll down a bit, you can see that they have given us 400 accesses, 400 seats are available, 74 are already distributed, 74 Wikimedians have already made use of it. So what you have to do is you have to go and click on Apply, and it'll have a couple of basic questions like, why do you want to access this resource? Anything else you want to say? You could say something like, hey, I'm working on an article about the history of Eastern Europe, and there is some collections with the Wall Street Journal that I would like to access, and then you just apply. The Wikipedia library team will review that application and get back to you with the next steps on how you can get access. Most often it is a voucher code. You will get a code that you can use on the partner's website and get a free subscription or free access, but it sometimes can be other ways as well. It can be an email, sometimes it's a PDF that's being sent to you. There are different ways. But broadly, these are the two ways in which we provide access to all these collections. So there is my collections, we call it library bundle, and then available collections, that's a multi-step process. Just like any other digital library, there is a fair amount of functionalities and features in the Wikipedia library that can help you browse for content or filter content more easily. Here on the left-hand side, you can see a filter for languages. So currently, we have more than about 33 languages, content in 33 languages are available in the library. So you can just go here and use this filter if you're looking for content in any specific language. There is also a filter for topics. So you can just filter here if you're looking for content about any particular topic. And this is about the access that we spoke about. There is instant proxy-based access and then the multi-step access. And then we have a search mechanism integrated in the library. Suppose you are, like I said, you are working on the history of Eastern Europe, but you are not sure where you might find content about that topic. You're not familiar with the publishers that are listed here. So you can just go here and just type in what you want to learn more about. So let's say, so when you go here, enter your term and search, it will give you results from quite a few partners who are integrated for search within the library. So this is powered by EBSCO. You can see results from multiple partners when you use that search functionality. So you can just go here and find more researchers, journals, books, and other research material about that particular topic. However, not all partners are integrated for search. Some of them have technical limitations that will not allow them to be integrated for search. So here there is another filter that would help you, understand which are searchable, which are not searchable, and some of them are partially searchable. So you can just, filter the right collections here. And then if there are collections that you frequently use, if there are resources that you think that you would need frequently, you can just go ahead and click on the star icon here, and then that will start appearing in favorites. So these are the collections that you will frequently need access to, so you can just go and start using those collections. Finally, another way to understand if a content collection, if a partner's publication is integrated for search or not, is the small magnifying glass that you see here. So if you see the glass, that means that the American Association of Advancement of Science, their publications are integrated in the search functionality. If you don't see that, for example, the ACM Digital Library, they do not have the magnifying glass. That means their content will not appear if you do a search. You will have to go to their website and look for the content that you need. So this is how the library works. And one final thing that I want to talk about is a suggest page that we have in the library. We'll speak about it more, but if you just go to this URL, you will see publications that are not currently in the library, but you can go here and request when you have logged in. You can go here and request for the collections that you need access to. So this is how the Wikipedia library works. If you meet the access criteria, please log in and start using the library. Coming back. Now we will move on to partnerships, how partnerships work for the Wikipedia library. We saw more than 100 partner content collections in the library, paywalled subscription-based databases, and that is freely available to you. But we do not pay any of these publishers. All these collections or all these access, it's given to us for free to distribute to Wikimedia volunteers. We are not paying any of these publishers. If we have to pay, it will be a lot of money. What we do is instead, we form strategic partnerships with each of these publishers. We reach out to them, we speak to them, we make them understand what the project is, we make them understand what the Wikimedia movement is, and then we form a mutually beneficial partnership and get access to their content for free for Wikimedians. Currently, we have about 97 partner organizations working with us from across different parts of the world. We have, like I said, more than 30 languages, and on a yearly basis, we are adding about 10 to 12 new partner collections to the library as well. So, we are continuously trying to expand and add more. We'll speak about that in detail. So, a good question would be, why should any publisher give free access to the Wikipedia library? They have customers, they have subscriptions, they have people paying to get access to their content. Why should anyone give free access for Wikipedia editors? And we have a value proposition for them, and this is the value proposition. If if the publisher gets more citations on Wikipedia and other Wikimedia projects, that naturally means that they'll have more visibility among Wikipedia editors and then in turn among Wikipedia readers. So that could potentially give a lot more website traffic to the partners' websites. Wikipedia currently has about 1.5 billion unique visitors, and if a small subset of those visitors go and check these references on Wikipedia articles, that is a substantial amount of website traffic for the Wikipedia library partners. So that is one of the reasons that they want to make access freely available for editors, so there are citations to their content on Wikipedia articles, and that would mean increased website traffic for them. And sometimes we, although I said this is not as straightforward as just going and telling them that, hey, you give us access and you get free citations. That's not how it works. Sometimes we have to create a proposal that is appealing to them, and sometimes there are specific and contextual benefits for the publishers. Some publishers are very excited by the multilingual nature of Wikimedia projects. Some of them are really interested in how their content is getting visibility in languages other than the language that they publish in. The authors are really excited about their citations and then therefore their work getting more reach. And some of the publishers have worked with us beyond the Wikipedia library as well for specific campaigns. One good example would be Perlego, which is a publisher with millions of ebooks on their platform. They have worked with us for Every Book It's campaign, which is a Wikimedia campaign that is about creating and updating Wikipedia articles about books and authors. So they have given free access to everyone who is participating in that campaign. So that is one example of someone who is doing something very specific and contextual. We have had publishers like Taylor and Francis engaging with us to go beyond and engage with researchers in the Wikimedia movement, because there are certain programs that are suitable for them. So we have discussed how we can potentially create courses together for Wikimedians about research, etc. So there are different specific and contextual benefits that the publishers get while they work with the Wikimedia movement through the Wikipedia library. And this is our value proposition. And that is not all. We also have something that we call a values proposition. Every publisher that we work with, we try to make them understand what Wikipedia is, what Wikimedia projects are standing for. As all of you know, Wikipedia is often referred to as the last best place on the internet. Wikipedia is still trying to preserve the original promise that internet brought in. It's a free encyclopedia, it's a multilingual encyclopedia, it's available for everyone. So we make publishers understand that we are trying to make knowledge freely, easily available for everyone in as many languages as possible. We try to help them understand how we are, especially in the age of LLMs and AI, how Wikipedia is a solid source of knowledge in many languages. The very multilingual character of Wikipedia is something that we make every publisher understand, and how we strive for knowledge equity, how we strive for combating misinformation and disinformation on the internet. We try to make them understand about the various things that we have in place to make sure that we don't have misinformation on Wikipedia projects, how the community works in different ways to compact and have checks and balances to make sure that the information on Wikipedia is accurate. So we also try to make our partners understand what are the values that we stand for, values that are vital for the internet that we hope to have. These are some of the recently added content collections in the library. As I said, we have a long list of publications that Wikimedians still need access to. So we are continuously trying to reach out to more publishers and get access to their resources. So in the last year or so, we have added publications such as the Wall Street Journal, which is a prominent American newspaper. Eastview Press is an archive with a lot of content about former Soviet Union and China and the Eastern European region. We have Barron's and MarketWatch, again, two publications from Dow Jones, the parent company of the Wall Street Journal. We have Hindu Tamil, which is an Indian newspaper in Tamil from the South India. Emerald Publishing is another large academic publisher. Arcanum is a particularly interesting one. We have access to a lot of archives and content, particularly interesting for the CEE region. It's one of the partners for a case study that I'm going to speak about. It's a long story how we got access to that. And then we've been trying to get content about the African continent, and in the last few months, we've been able to add the Africa Report and Africa Intelligent, specifically publishing content about the African continent. We hope it would be useful to have more knowledge represented from the African continent. We have the Hindu, again, a very prominent Indian newspaper. Lejos and University Press of Mississippi are also two new partners that we added. So we are continuously trying to get more and more partners added to the library. However, it takes a lot of time. On an average, we see at least 3 to 6 months for a new partner to join the library. It's an ongoing process. We have to continuously chase them and follow up with them. So the process is also a lengthy one. You know, when we know that Wikimedians need access to a certain publication, we try to find the right people at these publications to speak to. We research them, and then we try to reach out to them. We try to give them a whole demonstration of how Wikimedia works, how the Wikipedia library works, and then sometimes we have to address some legal concerns that they might have. Sometimes we sign a memorandum of understanding with them. Sometimes they do press releases. Partners would want to speak about this, so we work with them and we take care of those aspects as well. So it's usually a very lengthy process. It's not something that we get done immediately, but we are always, all the time, looking for new partnerships. So we are trying to add more and more in the library. These are some of the current priorities for the Wikipedia library. So first of all, we want to continue expanding content collections based on the community requests. I had shown you the suggest page. We'll go to that again. But we want to work on building partnerships with all those publications so that it's also available in the library. It's a very long list. Hundreds of entries are on that page with a lot of upvotes. But we are trying to make contacts at these organizations and build partnerships. Today, the most of the content in the Wikipedia library is from North America and Europe, and mostly in English, and that is something that we want to change, and we are actively working towards that. We are trying at least half of the publications that you saw on the previous slides have all or majority of their content in non-English languages. So we are actively trying to diversify the knowledge representation from different regions and different languages. So that is another priority for the Wikipedia library. We also want to improve the meta on wiki information about the library, so we'll be getting that done in the next couple of months or so. Currently, it has some outdated information. It's not very easy for someone to go to meta and understand how the library works and start using it. So we want to revamp that pages. We want to sort of give more information on meta. And finally, we want to continue building more awareness about the Wikipedia library so that more Wikimedians can make use of it. This is also part of that, giving this session here. Every time we'll hear someone saying that, oh, I just heard about the Wikipedia library, this is helping me so much to edit on Wikimedia projects. And so we want to try and see how we can maximize the awareness about the library. We want to work with you as well to see how we can take this project to as many people who might make use of this. This is one of the features that the growth product team at the Wikimedia Foundation is building. So, and we hope that this will bring a lot more visibility for the Wikipedia library. Now we are designing a progression path with certain tasks and certain things that you can unlock as you continue your Wikipedia editing journey. And one of the milestones in the advanced path as you progress contributing to Wikimedia projects is unlocking the Wikipedia library. So you will see that the progress bar, as you see on the second screenshot, when you complete 500 edits, when you make when you meet this criteria, the Wikipedia library will get unlocked for you. So we hope, as more people start editing, as new users are coming in, this feature will bring in a lot more access to the Wikipedia library. So that's a very cool new feature. This is the last part of this session. So there are a few ways for you to collaborate with the Wikipedia library team, and I want to speak about that. The easiest thing would be you can go to the suggest page on the Wikipedia library, the one that we saw a while back. And if you see knowledge gaps, if you see paywalled content that you think are really critical for contributing to Wikimedia projects, please go there and add those collections or upvote those collections there. Please do that. I appreciate that it's a long list, and sometimes you will be discouraged when you see such a long list, but we are actively working on building partnerships with them. So please go there, and if you see collections that you think are relevant, please upvote them. If you see something that's not there, please add them as a suggestion. So that is one easy or the most obvious way to collaborate with the Wikipedia library and have the content that you need access to in the library. And a couple of other ways to work, or the couple of other ways in which we collaborate with Wikimedians now, are one is to work with us as an affiliate or a user group to develop a strategy for the specific needs of your region or your thematic area. One good example would be Wikimedia Deutschland. We've been working very closely for the last so many years to design a strategy to get new partners for in the German language for Wikimedians in Germany. So we have monthly check-in calls. We discuss the problems that we have. So we work very closely in retaining the current German publishers and also getting more German publishers in the library. So if you are a user group or an affiliate, and if you think that for certain thematic, if you see a content gap for the certain thematic or regional area that you work in, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to work with you to craft a strategy specifically for you and address that. The second thing is building awareness programs or sessions about the Wikipedia library in your community. So when you go back home, you can speak about the library. The Wikipedia library team will be very happy to deliver a session like this for your audience if that is a need. We've been doing that a lot in the last so many months. We have done presentations with Wikimedia Canada. We have done it for DCW Conversation Hour. We did a Let's Connect session telling people how they can use the Wikipedia library, because we still see that a lot of Wikimedians are not aware of this project. They don't understand how it works or how they can use it. So we want to collaborate with you and see if we can build awareness in your local context for the Wikipedia library. And finally, just 2 case studies that I want to talk about. These are 2 partners that we've added in the last few months, particularly relevant for the CEE region. Arcanum database is the largest and continuously expanding digital periodical database from the Eastern Europe. They have scientific and specialized journals, encyclopedia, weekly, daily newspapers, and more, and that's available in many languages as well. It's a partnership that took quite some time for us to develop or have them in the library. This started as a request from Wikimedia Romania. Claudia had reached out to me quite a while back and said that we would love to have access to this particular database. This is very useful for the CEE region. And I did reach out to, them back then, and we were not able to get in touch with them. They were not able to work with us, and after a while, Wikimedia Hungary tried to reach out to them directly. They tried to tell them how the Wikipedia library works. We tried to assist the Wikimedia Hungary with the talking points that they need to develop this partnership, and even then it was not successful. And finally, in 2024, we met them at the Frankfurt Book Fair, and when we met them in person, we were able to just say that we are the people who've been trying to get in touch with you, and we were able to sit with them and talk through all their concerns and address them. And in a couple of months after the Frankfurt Book Fair, Arcanum database started working with us. Initially, they just gave us access to 50 people. 50 volunteer editors got access to Arcanum, but then after a few months, when we fully distributed those 50, they gave another 50 accesses. So it's a partnership that's growing. We are deepening the relationship that we have with them. Another example is Times of Malta, and Tony is right here. So, you know, in the last year was the big elections year across the world. We saw a lot of elections happening, and we had a, you know, we were trying to intentionally build partnerships with news and media publications. And when I saw the news that, you know, we have a Wikimedian in residence at Times of Malta, I reached out and I said that we should have this in the library. And since then, Tony and I have been working closely to see how we can have Times of Malta in the library. We have had conversations with them. They have had you know, questions and concerns about how this works, how their content is going to be used, will there be any copyright violations? So we worked with them to address all these concerns, and now Times of Malta is also available in the library. It's accessible for you, thanks to Tony. So these are just examples of how we can work. It takes a bit of time, but for your own contextual needs, we can work, you know, we can develop a strategy and we can build these partnerships. And that's all. Sorry about the hiccup with the demo, but I hope it was useful. And now I think we have about 5 minutes for questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, or you know, you can write to us at Wikipedia library at Wikimedia, wikimedia.com. Yeah. Thank you.
I have one question. If I apply for one of those available spots, and for example, I get the spot on the Wall Street Journal, but I only have the interest for one article. I usually don't work on topics related to where the Wall Street Journal has information, but for example, they did a feature on a person I want to write the article about. Can I then quickly also cancel that seat again to make it free for others? Because, yeah, with the Wall Street Journal, at the moment, there is a lot of space, but I wouldn't want to take that one Arcanum seat, for example, that is still free.
Yeah, that's a really good question. The answer is that it depends. With some publishers, we have an option where one access is given up and then that can be given to another person. For some of them, we don't have that option. For example, for the Wall Street Journal, we don't have that option. You get the voucher code, you use it on your personal email ID, and then you have access for 3 years for free, right? So what you could potentially do is when you apply, you can mention that I just need access to one particular article from the Wall Street Journal. I don't imagine that I'll be using it continuously. You can mention that. What we do is the Wikipedia library team will review that and see if there is another partner through which you can get access to that article. So sometimes if you're looking for only one article, after a small delay, this will appear in some of the aggregators' websites. It could be ProQuest or JSTOR. Some of these folks aggregate this content, so it might be available. So that is one way you can go about it. But to answer your question, it depends. Some partners, yes. Some partners, no. Any other questions? All right, I think there are no other questions. Thank you. If you have any other questions, you can write to us or you can find me here at the conference and speak to me. Thank you so much.
Okay, now see.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Gia. I am a Wikimedian since 2006. X. I am admin in Commons from 2010, VRT volunteer 2014, and active in Wikidata as well. I initiate an idea from a wiki project for more authorities, more authority files in VF. How Wikidata community can encourage national libraries to join VIAF as a part of increasing collaboration between national libraries and Wikidata. In the next page, we will see a screenshot of the institutions that are part of VIAF currently from CEE region, yes? This project aims to increase the amount of the institutions and add new flags to the list. Here. You see the list? This is VIAF. You see flag of Georgia, flag of Turkey, flag of Romania, Moldova. So we aim to Azerbaijan, yes. We aim to bring also the National Library of all the community here is the help of Wikimedians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And okay.
Okay. So
Now, my partner,
yeah.
Camillo, will introduce himself.
So I am user Epidosis, Camillo Pellizzari from Italy, and I have been a Wikimedian since 2012. On Wikidata since 2013, now mainly active on Wikidata, admin on both Italian Wikipedia and Wikidata, and especially since 2020 I've been active on Wikidata on the interconnection between Wikidata and library authority files. I've also had many cooperations with libraries in Italy and abroad, written a few scientific articles about this, so yeah, I've dedicated a lot of time to this. So I will try to introduce what is an authority file, what is VIAF, and then we will return to practically what we can do. I see many persons that were at the learning day, so I excuse myself for the fact that I will repeat some of the things that I said in the learning day, but I hope that at least for the others they will be interesting. So what is an authority file? Very briefly, an authority file can regard different types of entities, mainly persons, organizations, works, like literary works, and places. If we extend the concept of authority file, it can also regard concepts, but we will focus on persons for many reasons. An authority file is a group of authority records that are contained in a library catalog. So the main question is, what is an authority record? An authority record is basically inside the catalog an entry for a person or organization or work or place. I will say person next, but remember that it's not only person. It can be also organizations, works, places. Why does a catalog need an entry for a person? Because of course, persons can be authors of books, translators of books, editors of books, can be also the subject of books. And so we need to have the records of the persons so that we connect to those records of the persons the bibliographic records that have been produced by them or that are about them. So we create these authority records, and we put into the authority records the names with which the person is known, some biographical data if possible with references, and we go and connect these authority records to the bibliographic works that are pertinent to them. We call them authority record because in the authority record there is one preferred form of the name that is called authorized, so it's the form that the library that produced the authority record judged as authoritative. So the name authority record comes from this concept, that in the authority record there is always one preferred form for the name, and there could be other forms of the name that are variant forms. So the authority record exists to be the access point to the bibliographic record. This is its main usefulness, its main aim, but the authority record also could contain useful information about the person and, of course, references and potentially links to other resources, like other authority records or sources, and so on. This is an example of authority record, the same that I used in a learning day. So you see above the authorized form, variant forms, very few biographical data about the person, the sources from which these biographical data are derived, and of course, the identifier of the authority record itself. What is VIAF? So each national library and also a fair amount of research library produce authority files to document especially the production, the cultural production in their countries. And VIAF is an attempt of putting these authority files together to compare them, to interconnect them. It's a project available online for free, created by 3 big national libraries, the Library of Congress, the German National Library, and the French National Library, and OCLC. OCLC manages it since 2012. OCLC is the biggest library consortium in the world, and currently VIAF members, which means the national libraries that provide data to VIAF on a regular basis, are about 40. And also VIAF uses data from ISNI and from Wikidata. And all these data go to VIAF, and VIAF tries to cluster them algorithmically with the results that are overall decent and sometimes wrong, but VIAF has a great importance for libraries because this clustering with all its mistakes plays a fundamental role, and VIAF has a very big amount of persons. VIAF knew 22 million persons in 2020. Now there will probably be like 24, 25 million. For a comparison, Wikidata has as of now 12 million persons. So VIAF knows 10 million more persons than Wikidata. And as of now, the persons that are connected in both are 3 million. So we have, in theory, 9 million persons that VIAF doesn't have, and VIAF has like 19 million persons that we don't have, probably.
Our project will increase it.
We want to increase,
yes.
yeah. So, VIAF members outside Europe are relatively few, and they are the ones that you see listed here. So, if your country is in one of these continents and is not listed here, it's not in VIAF as of now. We hope that it can be in the future. And of course, the great majority of VIAF members is in Europe. So in this map, you probably can read to some extent the captions, but I will explain. So the countries that you see in red, in pink, in red like Sweden, in pink like France, in orange, that is only Great Britain, and in blue like Iceland, all these countries are in VIAF. We can add many asterisks to these. There are a lot of like sub-conditions, exceptions, and a lot of strange things. But overall, we can say that all the countries that you see in red, pink, orange, and blue are in VIAF. The countries that you see in light yellow, like Finland, and in gray, like Georgia, are not in VIAF. The difference is that the countries in light yellow, we are already connecting them to Wikidata. With the countries in gray, we are doing nothing because we haven't found anything to connect to Wikidata, because we generally think that all the national libraries of most countries, let's say, have some kind of authority file, but not always these authority files are available online, because often libraries conceive them just as tools for catalogers and don't put them online. The first thing that we want is that also the countries that we see in gray put their authority files visible online so that they can become at least yellow, and that all these countries in a future that we hope not so far from now can become red, in the sense that can become not only connected to Wikidata, but also can become part of WIAF. And in the next slide, we will see concretely how you can help reaching this aim. So I pass back to Ger.
Okay. Benefits. What's the benefits for the institutions? The institutions will become part of the community of the national libraries. The efforts of the National Library will be presented to the world. Not only maybe the website, not only the local country, but worldwide. Also, links from Wikidata to institution website will increase the number of visits to the site, and the site's exposure increase. It's increasing the SEO, if you know what is it. Each ID can be used in a Wikimedia project, such as Wikipedia in different languages, which increase links to the site and expose the site. What it means, if Wikidata have a link, if you have a link from the Wikidata, English Wikipedia have an article and have a link also to the site. And Hebrew Wikipedia and
box authority control. You know the box authority control at the end of the articles.
Yes. So you have not one access, you may have many access for many sites. Joining Wikidata and WIAF will improve the quality control of the items. There is a large of involvement of users in correcting and verifying the data. Yes, we are working regularly. Oh, that's the name. In Hebrew, it's no good. In Georgian, it's no good. Let's fix it. So it is quality control. It is improving. The date is not good. Maybe it's circa. It's not accurate. So it's improving the data on Wikidata, and improving the items, and also its influence on the institution. Adding National Library to WIAF can be matter of national pride. Of course. The country's flag appears on WIAF main page. Yes, I mentioned it before. For WIAF, the project will enhance WIAF by incorporating more national libraries into the international authority file and expanding its coverage with names in underrepresented or missing alphabets. Yeah, we don't have Georgian in. We have a Georgian some few, but if the National Library of Georgia will be part, we have all the range. Yes. For Wikidata, adding new institution will significantly enrich Wikidata by adding numerous items from participating institution, which can be updated using tools like Quick Statement or OpenRefine. Yes, we are first users that will be involved will be use the Quick Statement more and more, and OpenRefine, which is make a job easier, and it's also it's help Wikidata.
Can I add one?
Yes, please.
I would also add that, of course, like, it's true that a lot of authors from your country are not only known by your national library, they are known also by other national libraries, like, for example, the Library of Congress. But it's true that you usually know your authors much better than the national libraries of other countries. So, and especially for example, authors that are not originally from countries in Latin script, like authors from countries using Cyrillic script, Armenian script, Georgian script, Arabic script, and things like that, there is the huge problem of transliterations. And since often national libraries just use the transliteration in Latin script when they are in a country that uses Latin script, often you have the issue that your author for example, from Armenia, is known by 3 different national libraries that have used each of them 3 different transliterations. No one uses the original name, and so these 3 in VIAF get duplicated. And people can have difficulty in finding this author because it's not treated correctly. So it's very important to make the production, the cultural production of your country easily discoverable and also cataloged in a better way abroad, that you share your data about your authors, because sharing your data about your authors will also help other countries collecting better data about your authors. Otherwise, there is a high risk that your authors will be misrepresented abroad in many ways, like spelling mistakes, mistakes about the date of birth, the date of death, because the librarians abroad will have no easy access to your data that are probably much better and that could be a fundamental help for them to catalog them in the best possible way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, so this is a table that we prepared regarding countries in the CEE region. And you see, okay, the countries member of the CEE. Then you see in the column here in the left, you see if there is already a Wikidata property. So if there is already a Wikidata property, this means that you have some kind of authority file online that you are trying to connect to Wikidata. And we are trying to connect it to Wikidata, especially through mix and match. And you find the column to the right about mix and match, which is one of the best tools overall to make reconciliation. We don't have the time here to demonstrate mix and match. We demonstrated it yesterday briefly at the Learning Day. But if you want, ask us. We can demonstrate for a long time. Yeah. Mix and match. Reconciliation.
What is this?
Okay, reconciliation means basically that you find the corresponding item in Wikidata for something online. That could be an authority record, could be an article of a biographical dictionary, an article of an encyclopedia, a page in another database. So reconciling means matching. You match your entry in something with Wikidata. And you match with an existing item in Wikidata, or you match creating a new item in Wikidata. And you can do it manually. Manually is always an option. Not necessarily the best in many cases because it requires a lot of time, but you can always do things manually. Of course, there are also tools that simplify your life. So if you have already a list of correspondences, you have like a simple table with on one side your entry, on the other side Wikidata. You can easily import all the matches in a few seconds through quick statements, but probably you don't have this beautiful table. So you have to use some kind of tool that helps you reconcile your entries with Wikidata in a way that is decently good and also quicker than doing everything manually. And the 2 most important tools to do this are OpenRefine and Mix and Match, that are different in many aspects, but anyway, they can both be useful, and if you want to have more information about this, you can refer to the presentation of yesterday at the Learning Day and to us personally asking for more information. So here is the other part of the table. Anyway, this table is on Meta, so you can check it, or you can ask us more information. What can you do? So let me check the time. Yeah. So you can do the following. First, verify if your national library has an authority file online. If so, verify how is it being connected to Wikidata and if you can contribute. In the case that your country in that map appeared in gray, this means that I have not been able to find any authority file online for your library, and that probably means that effectively it isn't online, although I may be wrong. So you should verify that effectively I am right and there is no authority file online. And if there is effectively no authority file online, this is a bad thing, and you want to go to your national library and ask them if they have already an authority file to make it visible. If they don't have yet an authority file, please start in creating one, because in the environment of semantic web, having an authority file is crucial. Yeah, we can also help creating new authority files, and also Wikimedia Deutschland can help. For example, in Nigeria, recently a project started to create an authority file from scratch using Wikibase, which is the software used also by Wikidata. And so if you need to start creating an authority file, we can also provide some help. We, Wikimedia Deutschland, we can help. Okay, given that you have succeeded in obtaining that your national library puts an authority file online, you should start connecting it from Wikidata. So you need to propose a property, and after you have a property, you can start the reconciliation through mix and match. If you start the reconciliation through mix and match, you can work on it, but also other users can work on it, which is very good. And you can also help in many ways. You can help improving the Wikidata items about the writers in your country, adding labels in various languages and scripts, adding, of course, the site links to Wikipedia articles. We have seen yesterday that sometimes some Wikipedia articles are not connected yet to Wikidata, and you should connect them. And of course, you should take care with particular caution of the homonyms. So if there are homonyms, add this property different from that ensures that no other person may confuse these two homonyms and merge them incorrectly. This different from avoids that this happens, and it's a good thing. You should propose properties for encyclopedias, databases, biographical dictionaries, every kind of authoritative resource that can help you add sources to these Wikidata items. As we have said previously, having sources in Wikidata, as in Wikipedia, is crucial. So please also add as Wikidata properties these resources that you judge authoritative and that are available online. Use mix and match, as we have said. Improve the items, adding many things, including, of course, the ID of your national authority file. The tools that you have mentioned are, as we have said, quick statements that helps us in many ways. For example, importing a series of matches that you already have. Open, refine, and mix and match to make reconciliation. PetScan is useful, for example, to find Wikipedia articles that are not yet connected to Wikidata. We have seen some examples yesterday. For more information, this is the important part. So, for more information, there is this reference page on Wikidata that we have recently created that explains briefly what is VIAF with this map. It explains the benefits that we have also listed in this presentation. And it also explains with details the workflow that we were presenting. And there is our names and, okay, some other things. So this is the reference that you can look to have more information. If you want to start something in your country, we can also create sub-pages for your country to collect materials of various kinds that can be useful. And you should also refer to a thing that is not yet linked here. It will be in a few minutes or hours. You should refer to the page of the Learning Day that was yesterday and that many of you attended. In the page on Meta of the Learning Day, you find the presentation, the slides of the presentation that I did yesterday, and you also find some beautiful things regarding the use of PetScan and some things that can help you work more efficiently on improving the items on the writers of your country. If you have doubts or any kind of willingness to have more information about this, ask us personally in these days, afterwards, in any way that you want to try, and we will be happy to answer to the best of our possibilities and help you to the best of our possibilities. And with this, I would end and give the next 15 minutes for any kind of questions, doubts, and yeah. Thank you very much.
And if you can also stand up.
Yes. Hello, my name is Daniel Antal, and thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah.
I do not want to go in very big details of what I do with VIAF, but I want to ask about one aspect that maybe you can help with.
Yeah.
I work in 3 of the countries that are marked with red,
yeah.
with very different results.
Yeah.
I will name the good one and not really the 2 that is not good.
Yeah.
So in Slovakia, we realized that a lot of music composers do not have a VIAF entry. So we signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Library and the music libraries that whenever they find one, they send it for verification. It gets into the national authority file. And it also, I have a project that works with the Wikibase, helping the music libraries and composers. We put it to Wikidata. That's clear.
Yeah.
There are 2 other countries that I will not name. One of them has a national library on VIAF, but they haven't updated a single record in 11 years.
Yeah, in fact, when I said that there are many asterisks on these and many exceptions, this is true, exactly. Which country? If you
okay, so in Hungary, nobody updated in 11 years.
Yeah.
I also work in Latvia, which is a very different problem because it's not the library, but the other GLAM institutions that are not providing the correct data. However,
we have a Latvian librarian in the room, so we can also speak directly with, yeah.
So they're really not the library is the problem.
Yeah.
So the problem is that in countries where you already have a VIAF member, they are basically placeholders. So you cannot really bypass them, but they sometimes do not really work. And I am wondering, what is a pragmatic solution when you would like to create authority files? So what we are doing, we have a project that creates authority files for every single music composer in these 3 countries. Most of them will never get to VIAF as far as I see. We would like to have them on Wikidata, but we think that just to have them on Wikidata without other authority control is probably not the best. So what do you do in those countries where VIAF exists, but so to speak, inactive and hard to work with?
I can give my, there are many, and also my impression is that, for example, the countries that you see in blue that are in theory members of VIAF, I have the impression that most of them also are in this condition that they sent data like once or twice many years ago, and in fact are like not anymore updating data. And this is probably true of a relevant number of the countries that are here are marked as VIAF members. So what to do? Basically, here we could also enter in a very big list of problems with VIAF, because I also have contacts with national libraries that try to update data in VIAF and have some kind of difficulties for various reasons. But there are also cases, so there are cases in which we can somehow blame OCLC in certain aspects, and there are cases in which effectively it is the National Library that, for whichever reason, like lack of funding and lack of human personnel and so on, they are unable or unwilling to send any more data to VIAF. So in these cases, basically VIAF has some admission criteria that say that basically they only accept the National Library of a country and no one else. And so what, in theory, the only option would be that you manage to convince the National Library to restart sending periodically all their authority records, at least the decent ones, to VIAF. If for whichever reason this doesn't happen, and there is a very high probability that this doesn't happen at least in the near future, what you should do, what I recommend to do, is that the authority data, of course, should be online in some kind of authority file that is visible or in a Wikibase instance curated by librarians and so on, and that you use this visible authority file that can be or not be a Wikibase instance as a source to add all these authors also to Wikidata. And that, in this way, if at some point the National Library restarts to send data to VF, we are already ready. And that in the meanwhile, all these authors are well documented in a publicly visible authority file and in Wikidata, and we have the hope that sooner or later they will also be well documented in VF, but in the meanwhile we have them well documented in Wikidata. So this is all that I can suggest. And if you want to add something, yeah?
In a sentence.
Yeah.
Anyway, involvement of Wikipedians in such a thing, it can be revive everything. You need to sit together with us or group and break the head and think what can be done. So anyway, Wikipedians are working people. They're not paid for that. It's for free. Why they care? Why the National Library can care? They don't pay. Nobody pay for them, and they can increase the database. Also, you said you have Wikibase. Maybe you can Wikibase also make properties, so all the items.
We can link
your Wikibase can link.
Exactly. We can link from Wikidata to your Wikibase, as for example, I mentioned earlier this authority file that has started to be created in a Wikibase cloud instance in Nigeria. They link from the Wikibase, Nigerian Wikibase to Wikidata, and Wikidata will link progressively to the Nigerian Wikibase. So we can do the same, and of course, as we to put it simply, on Wikidata we can act without significant restrictions. VIAF is managed by OCLC, so there are a lot of things that are not exactly under our direct control. So we can at best insist with the National Library and try to push forward, but in the meanwhile we have the most important thing is documenting these authorities in online, in an authority file that is visible online, and try to interconnect it as much as possible with Wikidata. This is what we can surely do, and we can do it well, and it is very much valuable to document the cultural production of these countries. Yeah. And we can speak more afterwards.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Any more questions?
We still have 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Not more.
Again. Oh, and maybe firstly here and then we return.
This one is from
Yeah,
Georgia.
exactly. I know. I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a question, more it's a comment about why, for example, Wikimedia, sorry, not Wikimedia, but Georgian National Library was not in the WIAF. To create the authority fields and etc., the National Library needs to, or staff of the National Libraries needs to spend much time to create these and etc. In our let's say culturally, is that staff people wants some payment to create this one.
Sure.
Government doesn't care about this. Yeah. And when you are not paying for the staff enough, they will not spend much time to create an authority file for single or all single things.
Yeah.
That's a main issue. So my question here is that what we can do, if, let's say, for stuff it's not doing in the National Library, what, for example, as a Wikimedia Georgia, we can do, how we can help them.
Maybe you start, yeah?
I can offer one issue. We start with Georgian Wikipedia, some IDs, but they're not authority files, but they're IDs that National Library created. They can make we can make from them authority files. So it's only technical issue, and we can help about this. I don't think it will cost money.
No, I'm not sure. I think it will cost somehow. I would say that basically what we can do is mainly like advocating for the fact that in this time, for a national library, it should be some kind of obligation to provide to the public an authority file that gives good information, at least about the author from the country, because this means like providing to the entire world, especially the world of libraries, but in general, like the cultural world, a reference point, also like persistent identifiers to these authors that are fundamental in the semantic web. So I would say that we should at first like advocate for the fact that the national libraries should have enough human and financial, it's mainly human usually, human and financial resources to curate good authority files, at least for the authors from the country. In theory, the authority file should be for all the persons that have authored books that are owned by the National Library, so also Italian authors and Slovak authors and Indian authors and so on, but at least for the authors from that country, the authority file should exist and should have a quality level that is sufficient to present to the world a clear picture of the authors from that country. So I think the first thing is advocating that there should be enough resources for this. It's like, it's for the National Library, it's something that should be done by the National Library to do this. The best thing that we can do is advocating that they should have enough resources to do it. This is what I can say, and like from also the Italian perspective and all the libraries that I've spoken with, they all say, they all have an authority file usually, but they always say that they have not enough staff and money, especially staff, to curate it as they would desire and as they would be capable, but they don't have enough personnel and enough time. So this is unfortunately a common issue, and of course it is like much more concerning if the authority file doesn't exist at all and should be created from scratch. Of course, this is, especially as an initial start, more difficult. But I would say that before saying the authority file doesn't exist, it should be verified, because there is a significant probability that it may exist and just it is only at the back end. It is only viewed by catalogers, but I think it's unlikely that it doesn't exist at all. It may be that it exists only for the catalogers and maybe it's very low quality, but still putting it online, also if it is very low quality, would be a huge step forward instead of just taking it hidden. This would be a huge step forward. So we should first verify that something exists, and if something exists, put it public. And this also will help us, for example, providing you data from Wikidata to start enriching this and building it step by step. Yeah. The other question, yeah.
Yes, it's a different, and there were no questions. That's why I thought I would make a second one. But so what I see as a huge issue with creating private authority files and transferring to Wikidata in Europe is GDPR. So national libraries are exempted from GDPR. They can do this. When I'm doing this with musicians, I work with music copyright registers, and we explicitly need to get the consent of living people to do this.
If the person is alive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering generally what is your policy regarding living persons who end up in Wikidata and GDPR?
The general policy is that basically for example, usually it's the date of birth, the most sensible thing. If the date of birth is stated by a publicly available and reliable source, we add it with that source, and it remains there until basically the person complains, which is very rare. If the person complains, we judge, as of now, we judge case by case, and like if, for example, the person complains and say that the source that was used by Wikidata when we added the datum has been deleted in the meanwhile, we delete as well. If the source that was used is still there, my personal opinion is that we should keep the thing until it is like, until this source is possibly deleted, because if it is a publicly available datum, I see no reason in deleting it. Other things, but anyway, in my experience of like 13 years on Wikidata, I've seen less than 20 cases. So it's a very, very unlikely thing. In most cases, also because people never discover that Wikidata exists, basically, it's very, very rare that it happens. And my opinion is that until the source, publicly available and reliable, still exists, we have no reason in removing. Of course, if the person manages to obtain that the datum disappears from everywhere in the internet except Wikidata, it makes sense also to remove it from Wikidata, and I think it's perfectly good. Yeah, but it's rare, very rare. I think the time is up. So I think the time is up. Thanks. Other question? Other question? No. So thanks very much, and for everything, reach out to us here or afterwards, ask us, we will be able to answer every question. Thanks, and let's go to the break.